I guess the topic that really ticks me off right now is the swine flu. I think that it's basically just another form of control. If you haven't noticed, in this country, the media tends to replay these images of absolute fear over and over and over again, so that the society can't even function without being scared. I think the government has done a lot of studies on hyperarousal, and they want to keep our society in hyperarousal because it's easier to control somebody when they're scared. When people are scared, they look for any kind of relief, and usually they look to leaders for it. I think we need to stop being scared. I think we need to start shutting off our TVs, stop watching the news, stop letting all these images sink into our head and our children's heads. I had an 8-year-old talk to me recently, an 8-year-old, and asked me straight out, "Do you think we're all going to die from this flu?" It hurt me to know that a little child was this afraid. So I went and looked up the statistics of actual influenza, or the flu, that happens, I guess, yearly or annually, whatever you want to call it. Estimated there's 25 to 50 million cases of flu yearly. That leads to 150 hospitalizations, and sadly that results in 30 to 40,000 deaths per year. So where does that leave us with this swine flu? Okay, from whatever sources we have, I guess in Mexico, sadly, it's believed that over 150 deaths have taken place as a result of swine flu. And here in the US, so far the numbers have been confirmed to 68 cases of swine flu, and I believe 1 death in connection to it. So considering by what I've stated about the flu earlier and what we're dealing with right now with the swine flu, I think that we're going to be okay. But I think that things are getting bad. I think people are starting to wake up to how our government is really treating us, and how control is really starting to become a big part of our lives. So my best advice to you who are clinging to your TVs, reading your papers, scared to death of what's happening, why don't we turn the media off for a second? If you haven't noticed, they only report what they want to report. And right now they want us to be in fear. So we might as well stop being in fear and do what is necessary. What is necessary to live, to be with our families? What do you do when a family member is sick? You wash your hands, you keep the area clean, you try your best to keep yourself healthy. Yes, I would say at this point, maybe it's not the best thing to go hang out with a bunch of people. Maybe it's not the best thing if your child goes to a school and there might be cases of it to send your child, but at the same time, let's stop living in fear for a moment. They've been pounding our heads with fear ever since 9/11, which I don't really want to comment on, because that'll start a whole new chapter. But at this point, I can see how scared our kids are. And that's not fair. It's not fair, because statistically right now, we're actually doing really well. Fear equals control. Control equals loss of freedom.